Welcome, my name's Ian Bailey, and we're going to talk about 8 things I learned in a New Delhi slum. Number 1 is that it's always right to be cautious. No matter where you're going or what you're doing, be cautious. Now, when I was going to the slum, I had a guide with me, and he didn't take my money because, to be honest with you, he didn't know what the situation was going to be, and I was going in with a lot of expensive equipment. So always be cautious, and I told him that if you feel anything, if you're at all concerned in any way, if your stomach turns just the wrong way, we are out of here. 2, expect the unexpected. You know, when I walked up, I met these 2 men that were then accompanied by 4 more men that basically were wondering what we were doing, and they wanted money to check out the place because I was like, hey, I want to go check this place out. I want to look at it. And they were like, we want some money. So from there, we went in. Now, I was half expecting once they took us into this small home, kind of a hovel, and sat us down to be robbed. And maybe that's a bad stereotype, but I was seriously concerned, and so was the guide. But on the other hand, what ended up happening was this guy pulled out a puppet. A puppet, like a marionette. Apparently, his father was one of the best marionette or puppeteers in all of India, coming out of a slum. And he lived there for 45 years, and he died in the last several years. And the man had the puppet, and he gave me a puppet show. Now, the people weren't interested in leaving because the 4th thing that I noticed was people are going to choose community. In the space, they told me that they didn't have to worry about religious strife because the Hindus and the Muslims are having an opportunity for growth right now. They didn't have to worry about the caste, and the Dalits are the lowest on the scale, but caste wasn't a concern in this community. So people were choosing that community over the government spaces that were being ready and available for them. Now, never underestimate the idea of home. When I asked about them moving, they were talking about their father, their community, their friend, and they were saying that this was their home. This is a place that they didn't want to leave. This is a place that they'd grown up in. This is where all the brothers lived and all their families lived. This was their home, and they didn't want to go, even though they were currently being forced out. In fact, they thought I was a surveyor, and that's why they reacted that way to me. Now, something else I learned is that joy is everywhere. When I walked around the slums and got a tour, the men were very nice. They showed me the place. The children were clean. There was food. The women were working. The men were working. And these children had huge smiles on their face. There was a couple of them that just wanted to play, and they constantly wanted their photo taken, and they were laughing and playing, and they very much wanted to reach out and just engage with me on a very human level. Now, everyone else was a little bit more reserved, but the children were so engaged and so exuberant. And that comes to buy the ticket and take the ride. You know, when I went, they asked me for 500 rupees, which is about $10, to be able to show them and keep you safe in the slum. It looked like it wasn't that dangerous as of a slum, but you never know, because things are good until they're not, right? So I paid the $10 to be able to sit down, and it turned out I got a puppet show. They showed me the theater in which they show for the entire community and the community around it, because the community around it was actually very nice. It was a beautiful, like it would be called a nice neighborhood right next to the metro, and a slum kind of slammed in the middle of it. And they showed me around the place. It wasn't that big. It was like 4 or 5 square blocks, and outside of it there were some main channels. But buy the ticket, take the ride, invest, because you never know what the experiences are going to be. And the 8th thing that came up for me was people are going to surprise you, but most importantly, people are going to sometimes surprise themselves. The guide that came with me was actually very surprised. He had never been to a slum before, and this was his first time going. And he and his experience was completely different than he thought what it was going to be. He didn't realize the humanity that the people had there. He didn't realize that it was going to be relatively safe. He didn't expect the puppet show, and he definitely didn't expect to learn about all the kids and all the places. And even after he left, we had a conversation on the metro back that that's not what he was expecting, and that he was surprised himself at the misunderstanding that he had of the slums and the people there. So this is my experience of the Delhi slums. If you want to go to New Delhi, be careful, take a guide. Always be on your guard, and don't take my good experiences a slight, meaning that you're going to be okay or safe. Always be safe, always take your time, and always be on the cautious side when you go. But go, because you never know what you're going to learn, you never know what experiences are going to come up, and you never know how it's going to change your perspective on things, because it certainly changed mine. My name's Ian Bailey. You can find me at Ian Bailey Photography, Instagram or .com. And if you're interested in more in what I have to say, please subscribe and follow me on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. I hope you get out there, I hope you explore, and I learn more about yourself and others as you do it. If you have any questions, please reach out. Happy to answer. My name's Ian Bailey, signing off.